back with another one. It's your boy Rod the Water God.
And I'm John, man. This is the home of hip hop news and cultural commentary. And God damn it, we got to talk about Andrew
Negative
Tate
Negro news.
being charged with rape, human trafficking. Uh, Romanian officials say. Uh, we got to talk about Andrew Tate because he's such a big name in the culture right now. It might not seem like he's hip hop related, but a lot of our young brothers and sisters look up to this guy. He's a lifestyle coach, if you will, and he's been accused of some pretty shameful things,
Yeah.
if you believe that. Now, just to give some context, I'll read. Well, before we get into that, Bob, let them know what they need to do, man.
Oh yeah, make
Off
sure
the
y'all
rip.
subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the like button, man, to help us in the algorithm, man. Please listen, do it for your boy, man. Hit the button, put us in the algorithm so more people can see our content. Straight up, let's get to it.
Damn right. I second that. Now, to give context, Andrew Tate, the influencer, was detained in December by Romanian officials, and he has begun. He has been charged with rape, rather, human trafficking, and creating an organized crime group. Local prosecutors said in a statement on Tuesday. Tate faces the charges along with his brother Tristan, another internet personality, and two women, both Romanian nationals. Prosecutors said. The Tate brothers will embrace the opportunity it presents to demonstrate their innocence and vindicate their reputation, a spokesperson for the siblings said. Tate's legal team are prepared to cooperate fully with the appropriate authorities. Cooperate fully, okay. Presenting all necessary evidence to exonerate the brothers and expose any misinterpretations or false accusations, the spokesperson told ABC News in a statement. They have been in police custody, first in jail, then under house arrest for about 6 months as they await the full charges. What's your reaction to all this news about the Tate brothers?
All it is, the biggest question has to be, as we seen with we just covered the NBA player and the woman, you know, finessing. So I'm saying with this, could this be could somebody be out to try to get the Tate brothers convicted with using the women and rape and things of that nature? That's the big question.
Have we seen
Does
any
he have an
evidence?
enemy? Does he have any enemy? He claims to have an enemy.
Well, he claims that the enemy is like, I guess, the media, the deep state, is some kind of
Some kind of higher,
conspiracy
yeah.
to silence him because he's speaking the truth. I believe that he's full of shit when he says stuff like that. I think Andrew Tate is pretty much what he stands for is disgusting, man. I think that he's pretty much admitted to the things that they've accused him of. You know, I'll read a quote from a CBS article.
It's funny you say that. That's interesting. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll just read a quote just so we could put into context what he's really being accused of. Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism has accused the four defendants of forming an organized crime group to carry out human trafficking in Romania, the UK, and the US. And it says 7 alleged victims were recruited by 2 defendants and misled about their romantic intentions. So this is the lover boy method. Uh, the alleged victims were then moved to houses where they were intimidated with acts of physical and mental violence and sexually exploited, according to authorities. I've heard interviews of Andrew Tate doing pretty much confessing to all of this, talking about lying about money, threatening to lose girls' visas if they don't comply with what he wants them to do. I've heard interviews from the victims, and they seem to be compelling to me. So we'll just have to see how the trial goes. But he's been really good at getting young people, especially, and a lot of people in the hip hop community, to come up with these think pieces and these podcast episodes where they defend him like he's some kind of hero.
Yeah, well, as you just mentioned, I guess you saying from the evidence that you've seen, he's definitely guilty. That's what you're saying.
I never
right?
said definitely guilty,
Oh,
but
but
I suspect he is guilty. I'm
you
pretty
suspect.
confident of the
Okay, you
belief.
suspect he's guilty.
Like if you were to ask me how confident am I that Andrew Tate is guilty on a scale from 1 to 5, like 5, I was there and I seen them do it. I'm at like a 4.
Damn, you up
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Okay. Well, that you talk about his support that Tate has been getting. I
yeah,
did see him on Patrick Bedavid show,
yeah,
and it seems like Patrick Bedavid was like more supportive of Andrew Tate. It was a little
yeah.
shocking to me, but
That was
the
shocking to you.
questions they
Well, go ahead.
yeah,
I'll let you finish. Go
just the fact that somebody was seeing the support.
ahead. Okay, go ahead.
So the fact that he would go on his mainstream media, his million subscribers and do that. So my point is, there are people that have doubt. Why would you think there are guys? Do you think it's just an alpha thing? They like the alpha. Why would you think there are guys that would feel like, maybe he do have some people that's out against him?
I think that there are people probably out against him because he says things that are uh, indefensible. He says pretty bad things. He says misogynistic things. He says racist things, and he associates himself with far right extremist people. Now, I'm not surprised that he has support from a guy like Pat David because
Right.
Pat David is a clear conservative guy. Uh,
Yeah.
Andrew Tate has aligned himself with right wing
With the right
politicians,
side. So you
guys
think,
like
gotcha.
Trump, guys like goddamn Ron DeSantis. And if anybody who doesn't know, I'm from Florida. Ron DeSantis is a guy who signed bills that allow 6-week abortion bans. He ended the requirement for concealed weapons permits. He banned gender affirming care for trans youth,
You
restricted
talking about
drag
DeSantis?
shows, expanded the Don't Say Gay bill, blocked AP African American Studies curriculum, and prohibited vaccine mandates. So he's an anti-vax guy too. All of that is
So you
stuff that I
saying,
just don't vibe with, you know.
right,
So
being on the side, yeah, I get it. The
yeah,
side that you
a lot of
so you're
stuff he
saying,
stands for, I
so
don't.
you saying that this is like this is a good thing for the other side of the people that you're saying, the conservative side. They look at this guy like, yeah, uh he said some pretty outrageous things, and get him up out of here.
Well, I think what you meant to say is people from the left might want
Left
him up
side.
out of here. The
Yeah,
people in the right are the ones that's trying to defend him.
right.
And yeah, I think it's right to want somebody that's accused of human trafficking and rape to be wanted out of here. If that's
Besides all
true,
of this, no, no,
yeah.
no. I'm saying besides all of this, before you even heard about this, did you want him up out of here about,
I don't
from
think they
before?
wanted him out of here by way. I'll speak for myself. I can't speak for
Right,
anybody, but for me, I think that freedom of speech is a great thing. So I don't agree with a lot of his ideas, but his ideas should be challenged and argued against. I don't want him thrown in jail for his ideas. Now, if he's raping people and human trafficking, that's a whole different story. But
right.
people on the left would rather engage with the ideas and just uh, use reason and logic to press against his idea or push back on his ideas. I don't think that I never heard anybody serious from the left calling for him to be locked in jail,
Hmm.
you know. But he's a I could
Interesting.
believe that he did these things because he's a religious guy as well. And a lot of these crazy rules that like he has for women or
Yeah.
his view of women kind of is shaped by his religious values. I think he's a Muslim and he pushes a lot of Christian type beliefs. I've heard him kind of repeat those. And if you look in the Bible, for example, like Leviticus chapter 20, verse 15 through 16, they say if a man or a woman has sex with an animal, both the human and the animal must be killed. If a woman has sex with no, if a man has sex with a woman on her period, they're both to be cut off from their people. That's another rule from the Bible that you'll find in Leviticus. Uh, I'll
Okay.
name one more. Um, Women are not allowed to wear clothing of men, and men are not allowed to wear the clothing of men. Deuteronomy 22, uh, verse 5.
You mean
So
men are
a
not
lot of
allowed to wear
those
the
like
clothing of women?
anti-gay views, a lot of
Yeah.
those misogynistic views, I think it comes from a religious text, and that'll kind of like shape his view on things. What do you think about that?
Interesting perspective. I don't know about what he believes in. I ain't really dig that deep into him. But
Oh yeah, you got see. I might have listened to more Andrew Tate content than you had. I think it's
I'm
possible.
not a that's not somebody I'm not claiming that I'm a Andrew Tate supporter. I never, it's not like my guy or anything, but
Well, that's
you know,
good. I'm happy for you. There's a lot of guys, especially young people, who
I mean, I appreciate his passion and his sales delivery though. I'm looking at his marketing plan, the way he handled himself as far as he blew up like a Kevin Samuels and the
well,
Wax and the Charleston Whites. Like I respect that part of the game that he took over.
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess you could respect it. I mean, on all of this blowing up that you're talking about are the shows where he admitted to the human trafficking.
And I ain't never hear none of that. So that's what I'm saying. I
Well,
never
we actually have old episodes where we talked about women
about
giving
that.
interviews, and we played little clips where they were accusing him of these things, and we played clips where he admitted to them on the show. So maybe you don't remember,
Remember
but
that.
we had other shows where we talked about this kind of stuff that he, out of his own mouth, was admitting to do it. So I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know if that was the right marketing strategy. It's making him look like a dirt bag right now, if you ask
yeah.
me. You know, I think like you're always gonna have people like Pat Bet David, or Sneeko, or people like that he could do podcasts with, that fringe group on YouTube. But people like me see this guy as a loser, man. I feel safer with this guy off the streets too. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Dang.
I don't like him. I gotta be honest. I
Damn.
don't like him. I don't think he's good for the culture. I don't think. Hey, when did you
Damn.
find out that Andrew Tate was black?
Well, I'm into chess. I like playing chess, and
And his dad was a famous
his
chess
dad
player.
was a
Right?
famous chess player. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how I
A lot of
got into his
people
dad being black.
a lot of people don't realize that he's black. He identifies as a mixed race individual with an African American father and a white mother. And he says he appears much darker with a tan. If that matters to you, he is a black guy. So I
Yeah, I
don't
mean
know.
that don't really matter, but but yeah, he is that. He is that. His dad was a
I got a
famous
whole
chess player.
article on it in Sports Kita, so it does matter to somebody. I'll say that much.
But
Drew Tate black? Find out about the ethnicity and race, about the controversial celebrity. This is back in February 24th. So
but
I,
I
I'm,
want to know what the comments think about. Do they feel that what side are they on? Are they on the side of get Andrew Tate up out of here? Or are they on the side of man, Andrew Tate's a legend? Do you feel like Andrew Tate's a legend still and he can get up out of here?
do I think he's a legend?
Yeah.
I never really felt like he was a legend. I don't really respect what he
Well, you
stands
said,
for. I don't
do
think
you
he
feel
gives
like
good
Kevin
advice for
Samuel?
women or
Do you
nothing.
feel like Kevin Samuel is a legend?
I like Kevin Samuel's style. I don't agree with everything he said, but I thought he was a lot more less problematic than an Andrew Tate. I know
Yeah,
that people look up to him and think he's some cool type of dude. I think he's pretty bad. And
gotcha.
yeah, I don't like his politics. I didn't really care for his podcast. I didn't like his advice on women. I don't really like nothing about him. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's kind of funny that
Damn.
people follow him. I think that we're gonna have a lot of people in our community that's gonna support this guy though. I see
Yeah, yeah.
online he gets
I
a lot of
mean,
support. He has a very vocal following.
listen, yeah, I feel like you know how he's explaining himself. Like I just seen bits and pieces on the Patrick but David, but it just seems like he felt like there's an enemy that's trying to shut him up, and
I
you
can't
know
believe you bought that. That's why this guy has success because people are gullible enough to believe that there's some
it's always two
invisible
sides to
enemy.
it. Listen, no,
There's
no, no. It's always two sides. This is one side of a story is not always 100. So
conspiracy theories should not be believed so easily, is my point. He's asserting something with no evidence, so it should be dismissed without any evidence.
so we should
That's the
believe he have
same
no
that's the
even.
same
We should
playbook
believe he have no
that
enemies.
Trump uses, that
Right.
you know, Ron DeSantis uses. There's always some shadowy figure, some shadow government playing a role and pulling the strings, but they don't have any evidence of this. And when you try to convince somebody that a conspiracy theory is wrong, right?
Right.
If they have no evidence to support their claim, they'll say they're hiding the evidence. If you show them evidence that is contradictory to what they believe, they'll say that that evidence was planted, it's fake. So it's a circular type of logic that people who are
So
predisposed to
okay.
conspiratorial thinking fall into.
So basically, you mean to tell me? So put it like this:
Mm-hmm.
when you said it was evidence to prove that the FBI killed your guy in Chicago, what was that guy we talked about? I think his last name was Hamilton, Frank Hampton, or Hampton, Fred Hampton, and the guy kind of snitched and gave the police the rundown. You was like, it was evidence on that. Would you feel like that was a conspiracy?
Fred Hampton being killed by the police is
Yeah, by the
absolutely a
FBI.
conspiracy.
Oh,
Yes.
that was a
Yeah. Conspiracy.
right.
And I want to be clear, just because conspiracies happen in the world doesn't mean that we should believe conspiracy theories. We
No, no,
shouldn't
no, no,
believe
no, no, no.
stories without any evidence. I
I'm not.
just want
I
to be
don't want you
clear
to put
about
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to put that
Yeah. So I'm trying to see how that relates to what we're
because you
talking
said
about.
conspiracies. You said all of these conspiracy theories and ones that
Yes,
never
I'm
checked out.
talking about stories that we have no evidence of. Just like
So Watergate, you saying that could be true because we found
see,
the
I don't
evidence.
think, see, you have a tenuous grasp of what a conspiracy theory is. So let me try to just be slow about what a conspiracy theory is. It's a story
Right.
that somebody fabricates for which there is no evidence of. Just like
Right.
there's conspiracies about NASA never going to the moon. You can find a whole bunch of podcasts about we never made it to the moon, but it's no real evidence
That.
that NASA just faked the moon landing. There's no real evidence that the earth is flat. But there's people that tell these stories about there being a big conspiracy and there's some kind
So
of
those are the
dark
stuff that you're
government
talking
that.
about. Right. Right. Right.
No, I'm
Those
talking
are the
about
stuff you're talking about.
this is another example. I'm being very clear. There's
Right.
another example when Andrew Tate says that there's some
Dark
mysterious
government.
force that's trying to frame him. He's not really doing these things. I think that's a conspiracy theory. It's tied to a lot of that QAnon stuff. So you got to really be up on conspiracy theories to even decode some of the coded language that he uses when he says that he's fighting against the matrix. If you're not up on this kind of stuff, I read books on conspiracy theories, how they're manufactured, where they come from, how they're tied to other forms of hate like anti-Semitism, all of that kind of stuff. It gets deep. So
Yeah.
maybe
It do
everybody
get
doesn't
deep.
understand what he's doing, but he's somebody who peddles conspiracy theories. It's not the first time he's done it, and now he's doing it to, you know, kind of raise the public perception of himself. I'm not going for it. You
Right.
know,
Peddle conspiracy theories, and you just speaking on certain conspiracies that you
I'm
feel,
speaking on
not
Andrew Tate.
all of the. Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying
Yeah,
not pretty much saying anybody who say about conspiracy theories, because in our community, it's a lot of conspiracy theories that they say about the Martin Luther Kings, the black leaders. You get a lot of conspiracy talks on that they would say a
yeah.
lot of that stuff.
It's gonna take too long for me to really explain the difference, but I'll say this: real
Yeah,
conspiracies happen, and conspiracy theories are fake stories that people make up, and gullible people
yeah,
fall for them. That's what I'll say about that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, what have we learned? Let's try to close this thing out.
From this one, he getting charged. So I mean, women. It's just like with the Zion thing. I don't. We like women saying you did this. Have you noticed Mike Tyson, Tupac, all of them got that rape charge? Do you feel like I heard
We're
somebody
trying to
talking about
close
that.
up. It seems like you want
Yeah.
to open up another line of questioning about Mike Tyson and
What did
everything.
we
Like,
learn? What did we learn? Hey, man, you better be careful out here. That's all. That's what we learned. You got to be careful.
yeah, I'll say what we learned is be careful of your role models. A lot of guys look up to this guy, and he's a clown. And I'll end with a quote. A quote, since his father was a chess master, you said, right?
Yeah.
I got a quote from Dr. Jonathan N. Stee. I hope I'm saying that right. Never play chess with a pigeon. The pigeon just knocks all the pieces over, then shits all over the board, then struts around like it won. True.
True. Yeah.